Hello everyone, this is Soundwave, a Zerg player, playing for Team Second Wind here with some more replay analysis. It's going to be a ZBT this time. We've got a lot of ZBCs on the way, but this time it's going to be a ZBT. I played against a guy from ATAzamato. You may recognize the clan by Thermal, basically, which is who's a pretty much Premier League player for ATAzamato. This guy is definitely not Thermal. His name is ATAzamato. I think it's 10 times master or something like that. So I wanted to upload this because it's a pretty solid macro game against a very tough and very solid opponent. 10 times master from ATAzamato, Mr. ATAzamato here. And I just wanted to showcase a bit of my decision making in certain points of the game, just to show you guys. So openings here are going to be pretty standard. It's pretty much going to be a repair opening from the turn. Meanwhile, I'm going to open 15 hatch, as it is pretty standard. First thing to note here is my overload positioning here in habitation station. Overload position, I could go as far as to check the gases, and most likely my overload would survive to me just placing over here and checking the gases here, the gas path from the SCPs. But this is just as good of a confirmation, because I'm pretty much going to see the Reaper. In fact, if we go to my vision, to my camera here, I'm going to see the Reaper right there, so I know what's coming. And actually this allows me to just have my overload sitting here, because if I identify Reaper opening, there's pretty much nothing Terran can do to prevent me from taking this position right here. And what you wanted to spot here is at what point does the Terran stop building Reapers. Like if I see a Marine that's shooting my overload is just gonna safely move into this spot here, where the Marine has to go all around this path here if he wants to kill him, so my overload's gonna survive. And I know that the Terran has stopped producing Reapers, and if the Marine is not there, then I just can comfortably see when does the factory come down, when does the reactor come down, and they swap and shit. So there's just nothing that the Terran can do to prevent me from doing this maneuver, which is pretty good. I should always, in fact you should always do this in your games. This is just 4 lanes to prevent the Reaper from doing massive damage. Just right here to prevent the Reaper from killing the... And there you go, this, in my camera here, I actually see that at this point that the reactor and the factory are coming down. So this is pretty good. Now I see the exact point on which the Terran is going to start producing Hellions, and I just safely have my overload go back to the base for later sacrificing it into the base and checking the exact build load of my opponent. I can, of course, out of a Reaper opening, I can obviously assume that there's suspension going to be up pretty soon, so I get some extra queens here. And am I able? No, I'm not going to be able to take that Reaper down. Oh, I could have targeted down though. Oh yeah, there you go. There's the kill on that Reaper. Okay, so my gases are a bit light here. Usually the perfect gas timing is around 5 minutes and 30 gas timing, but it's fine. I'm not going to be under that big of threat. So this is a good point here. Right after my 4th queen was completed out of the 2nd hatchery, you see I'm currently sitting at okay, that's my 4th queen. Okay, right. Okay, then the moment I was hoping for is not right. Oh no, there's actually my 5th queen. Okay, right. So right after my 4th queen has popped from this hatchery, as I know that my gases are pretty late, and that he might follow this up with, if I see more than 1 Reaper, which I've seen 2, I can pretty much instantly assume that I'm gonna have a tough time getting my 3rd base up. So it's okay to delay this 3rd base a little bit, and for me to be able to take that 3rd base safely. I'm gonna produce an additional queen, so I'm gonna sit on 5 queens, and 3 queens are gonna lay down 4 tumors. It's actually 3 plus the one that was created here, so yeah, 4 tumors, so 3 tumors. And after that, I'm just gonna pull energy here on these queens, because this is gonna allow me to transfuse and Reaper Hellion is kind of scary to any amount of queens that do not have transfuse, but against 3 queens that do have one transfuse each, the amount of Hellions that you need to do any damage is pretty much not worth it for the Terran. So every time, if you don't want to go roaches in a game, and you want to just go for your third base and go for the lings, you can just add up a 5th queen and use those 3 queens, pool energy. This is something I learned actually from Pigstream, from replay analysis and Pigstream. I'll talk about that a bit later. So yeah, you add a 5th queen, and with that 3rd queen that's creep spreading / defending, you're gonna have no problem against any amount of Hellions, basically. So I decided to get the Roach Warren anyway, which can be considered pretty much a mistake here. As I say, I shouldn't go 5 queen plus Roach Warren because it's pretty expensive and makes the delay on my 3rd pretty huge. But it's okay. I've seen that my opponent has gone for the 3 CCs because I've already sacrificed my Overload here, so I know exactly what's coming out of my opponent. You can see that I intentionally overdrawn my natural base at the start, so that as soon as actually I'm gonna back off a little bit, just quickly show. So yeah, my natural base is overdrawn here, and you're gonna see I'm still producing drones, more and more drones. 5 drones now. So my natural is very overdrawn, like 28 out of 24. You might wonder, well, is this a mistake? It's not really a mistake, because this allows me that as soon as this base is up, the 3rd base is up, suddenly, boom, 19 drones. So it's important that every time you get your expansion delayed, your 3rd expansion delayed, just keep building drones. Just act as if you had that expansion up and continue droning, but rally to your natural instead. And that way, once you are finally able to establish your 3rd base, you're going to be able to saturate it so fast that it's just not going to matter that much to have your 3rd base delayed. So yeah, my 3rd base is getting saturated right now. 2 queens with plenty of energy plus 3 roaches, just 3 defensive roaches, are going to be enough to fend off any aggression. Getting my gases up, getting my layer up, going for Bailiness. Okay, 10 minutes is the time in ZBT where you kind of want to stop droning, okay? So, ZBT basically is about droning like a madman until pretty much 10 minutes, and then start producing units. And depending on your opponent build, you can go just 3 base, which I went right now, or if you see another CC building very fast before any barracks, which was actually what happened this game, you can see my drone is rolling here to take a 4th, but this 4th base is not that important on the mineral side. This 4th base is pretty much to saturate the gases here. So what you want to do is just drone like a madman until 10 minutes, then start producing mass units while you take your 4th, and as soon as that 4th is complete, saturate gases on your 4th, and of course queen to larva inject, and keep producing units. You basically don't really want to saturate your minerals on your 4th until you need to transfer the drones from your mined out natural much later in the game. So yeah, you may be like 10, 12 drones, 6 to go in the gases, and then maybe 4 or 5 to saturate minerals here. But it's not. You don't need to fully saturate like 16 drones on the mineral line, because that's kind of overdroning, and you are gonna pretty much die to 13 or 12 minute pushes from the Terran here. So yeah, let's continue here. As you can see, I'm saturating again. I'm saturating my 3rd a bit more than needed. Why? Because I want to transfer as soon as this base is completed. I'm gonna transfer drones right there. And at this point, you can see the production tab. I've gone past the 10-minute mark. It's just units right now. My upgrades, my Bailiness, and I should be getting a Spire. Spire's a bit late this game, but there you go, that's Spire. I should be getting that a tiny little bit earlier, but it's okay. Meanwhile, Terran is setting this 3rd base. Now, don't be ashamed of letting this 3rd go down, because this 3rd is not that important in this map. Maybe. Yeah, Habitation Station is it's kind of rough, because if he gets the 3rd base up on the gold, he's gonna have a ton of income, and his parade push, this endless push of marines, this endless stream of marines around the map, is gonna be very fucking strong. But if you micro up solidly enough and you have a 4th base with gases saturated, you can actually stop the parade push on 3 bases from the Terran in Habitation Station. In any other map, it's obviously pretty easy to stop that. Zerg players have adapted pretty much to cover that style, and that style's kind of fading out because it's not that good anymore. So yeah, don't be ashamed of letting that third base go up. It's not that important, even if it's a gold base in Habitation Station. The fourth base is what worries Zerg players the most, actually. And you can see this is not like your average platinum Terran, right? This guy is a 10 times master. He plays for AT Gaming. He's a pretty solid opponent here, and his macro is quite good as well. So at this point, I see with my overloads, of course, the drop pads here from ATAzamato here. So yeah, it's pretty much, I should have Mutas at this point. I should have been able to just fend off drops with Mutas, but my Spire was a bit late. This is just does not do that much damage because I have some roaches here. Whenever your Terran is gonna drop you first, like as the first aggression, the Terran has not been aggressive past the Hellion, the Reaper Hellion aggression on this map yet. So if the first sign of aggression after the Hellion Reaper thing that you see from a Terran is a drop, in this case a double drop, you gotta be a bit worried. There has to be something else going on. So that's why I left some roaches here, because it's never just a drop, you know. It's never just one move. It's never good Terrans often do not do drops freely. Like they use drops to move you out of position. So as I know that his first aggression are a couple of drops here, I know that something's going on elsewhere, and I need to split my army. Best if that would have been only just one medevac, then I would have needed to split my army much more efficiently and leave many more units here, because with only one medevac up here, that means his army down here can be much greater. But with a double medevac here, loaded with units, that leaves him pretty much out of units to make any other move. So I'm pretty comfortable just leaving these roaches here and dealing with the Hellions that way. Just those little things, thought process that you need to analyze here. If Terran's doing a double drop this early on, he does not have that many more units out on the map. Getting my double upgrades, of course, bailing speed, getting into mutalist production here. This drop is just definitely not going to work. I'm retreating with my queens here, so he does not take those queens out. He's going to take that creep sword. I don't really mind that much, because my queens are here to keep spreading creep. And in this map, Habitation Station, you got to be really careful with this area right here. This area is the favorite for the Terrans. That's why I don't usually take my third here. I leave this, not even my fourth, as you can see. And this gas saturation was actually so late, unnecessarily as well, because I had the drones here, but whatever. So this is something you shouldn't do. You should saturate your gases on this fourth base as soon as you can afford them. But yeah, so this is why I don't usually take a base here this early, because the Terran can just sit here with a couple tanks and just pre-split here with Marines and even some mines here, and he can just rain fire in that third base without you being able to engage it. So I usually take this is my third, and this is my fourth. I should be transferring drones into the gases pretty soon. Let's see how much. There you go. There's a transfer. Exactly six drones pulled. That's nice. Okay, so just build it up. You don't really need more drones at this point in the game. I already have 73 drones. This is close to ideal count. Maybe I could afford some more drones. And this macro has to be way earlier, by the way. But yeah, I could afford some more drones, but it's not needed really. Don't really need more drones, because his parade push, as you can see, or his push rather, at 14 minutes, it's going to be pretty strong with that gold base income. So I gotta be very mindful not to overdrone, because if I overdrone and go over 80 drones or something, his income here is going to provide him with such a powerful push. And this is what I was talking about. He's going to pre-split here, he's going to land his Widow Mines here, and as soon as he sees me being aggressive, he's just gonna pre-split here, and I'm gonna sit here in this little chunk. So first thing I decide to do, flank. move some units over here, move some units over here, move some units up here, and I'm gonna be very careful this engagement here. Let's see how this goes. Splits a bit. I split a little group of units, try to pick up some marines here, but I gotta be very careful in this situation. He's constantly scanning as well. So I'm waiting for this 60-link reinforcement group to appear, and I will use that as a main shield to have the balance here. Wasting some balance here, and this is where I make my move here. I'm gonna try to pick up some widow mines, and now I've seen that I've picked off a ton of widow mines actually. There's pretty much a couple more that are active, but not that much more. And once those widow mines are on cooldown, there's a couple still here. It's just time to go with my links. There you go. Roaches trigger a lot of widow mines. That's why roaches are useful in this situation. I actually don't need to move here. Ah, there you go. There's the move out. As soon as the widow mines are triggered down, I should have moved up earlier, but that's fine. And I moved in with a Mutalisk, instantly targeted the Medivacs. Actually, what should you target with your Mutalisk? This is the general rule of thumb that pro players use. If the fight is close enough that you don't know if you're gonna win or not, then just let the Mutas target Marines freely, because that's gonna give you that little edge that will make you win the fight. But if you're sure that you're gonna win the fight anyways, as I can be sure here, because with this amount of balance here, this 5 balance here, I just know that I'm gonna be able to clean this up. As soon as you realize that the fight is gonna go in your favor, instantly start targeting Medivacs. Just target out Medivacs, and I clean up his army pretty efficiently. Well, it's never efficient for the Zerg, exactly, but whatever. Tyrant cost efficiency is kind of hard to match. So this is my now that I've gotten time to regroup myself and build a shit ton of units, it's time to start thinking about getting another base hub here, because my engagement has been so convincingly in my favor that I'm comfortable to build an infestation pit to start the transition to ultras and hive and 3/3 upgrades and taking a base here. This base is sort of a what if move, you know. It's a base that I can afford because I have a ton of minerals. And I'm not expecting this base to survive. Like, I don't expect this to be a permanent base of mine. I'm just planked in this here just in case the Tyrant does not notice that this base is here and does not push against this. I actually don't really mind if I lose this third. This is kind of going up to see as a what if move. Like, what if I get this third base, this base down, and can actually get some income, some gold income from there. But it's not crucial for me to win the game by taking this third. I could totally just cancel that and do whatever else. So you can see the supplies are pretty much in my favor. And this is a pretty dangerous place because I see that Turn is taking a 4th base, and I need to know if this 4th base is going down. So there you go. As soon as I can afford it, I send a link here. See that he's taking his 4th, but 4th is pretty far from completion still. So I still have some time until the Terran actually powers through with his 4th base income. Again, another army here. Very careful with engagements. He's got Thors now, so it's going to be even tougher to engage. This drop here is going to do decent damage. I was actually going to push to his 4th here, but this drop makes me go back with my entire army, which probably is a mistake. That's why I instantly pull back with most of my units. As soon as I see him going into creep and shit and scanning, I pull back with most of my units that I had gone to clean up this drop. I just let the mutas here clean up and position myself in a comfortable spot. I gotta be careful with the balance here. And then again, just flanking this army. He's positioned in the same exact choke again, although he's a bit deeper this time, which is kind of dangerous for him, but it's kind of dangerous for me as well. So I'm just gonna have my mutas here, and then again, just do the exact same thing, flank. Got some drones here, saturating this gold base, which is good for me. And as soon as I'm able to afford it, I'm actually dropping here. That's ballsy by me. This is a cute micro trick. He gets a shot off with this Thor. So, meanwhile, this move is not designed to kill me. This move is designed to allow him to get a 4th base up, which he does. Now I move. I let some links go far. he destroys a lot of my games with that Widow Mine, but now he's suddenly run out of Widow Mines, and I still got some Bailings left, some Links. I'm just gonna manually trigger those Bailings on the Marines, and my mutas are gonna clean up the rest someday. I'm actually gonna probably, yeah, I'm at the point where I can already fight this Marine, because with my Medivacs with my mutas I had been targeting those Medivacs, so now these Marines have no backup with Medivacs, so every time they steam is kind of costly for them, and these guys are clearly oversteamed. I'm just able to power through here. And this is pretty much going to allow me to win the game, because, 94 links on the production tab. Hive is going down as well. And this mutas have drive here. Thing is, about this little fight that went on here, is quite a tiny thing that I wanted to show you guys. So, this fight did not start that good for me, did not seem to go that good for me. But the mutas are the big element that can turn a cost-efficient fight for Zerg into a cost-efficient fight for Zerg. Link Bane is by default one of the most inefficient compositions in the game, even a couple roaches mixed in them, and just for the trigger the Widow Mines and shit. Why? Because Banelings are never cost efficient unless they kill like more than 5 Marines or something, which is likely with Widow Mines and Priest Splits never gonna happen. So Banelings are cost inefficient by themselves. Links just pretty much melt to bio, so they're cost inefficient by themselves. But mutas by themselves are pretty cost inefficient as well, because they die to Marines pretty fast. But the fact that I'm engaged, there you go. The fact that I'm engaging with my Link Bane, this seems so cost inefficient. This seems like an easy cleanup for him, up until the point where my mutas clean up. So this is the point where my army is not clear to win this fight. So this is being quite cost efficient by him. But as soon as the mutas get into the kill and I get a couple good connections with my Banelings, the mutas are what's gonna power me through this fight and make this fight an easy cleanup instead of just a cost inefficient fight. It's still pretty inefficient to be fighting the Marines with the mutalism, but as I can afford it, I'm just gonna do that because I'm a bit impatient here. But the mutas are what kinda allows me to just pretty much turn a cost-inefficient fight into at least a decent fight, a decent trade, an easy cleanup, so to say. At this point, he's got pretty much no units here. So I got another big decision here, which I wanted to show you as well. I'm morphing an army clearly to stop the game right here, and I'm just scouting with this links to see what I can get done. Okay. So there you go. Here's my big decision. Here's the thought process that's going behind me inside my head rather. And at this point, I know that my Banelings are coming, right? So I got 3 options here. Against the Terran, you always have these 3 options. You can either take this route and go to his 4th base and probably take that down. You can go to his 3rd base and probably take that down, or you can go into his natural and his protection. So let's discuss a bit about the pros and cons of doing each one of these. This is a reasoning that's going down inside my head right now. If I go to this base right here, I'm likely not gonna get that much done, right? Because this base is already kind of mined out for him. The gold base already paid for itself for the Terran because it's been standing there the whole game. So if I kill this base, it's gonna be decent because there's a lot of juicy SCVs right here, and there's still a command center and some production here, but it's not going to be game ending, because this, as I said, this gold base has already paid for itself. So if I take this down, Terran is not going to suffer that much because he's gotten all the minerals out of this base already. If I go to this 4th base, this 4th base is the juicy target here. This 4th base is what's keeping Terran in the game right now, right? The 4th base is actually what's critical in ZBT. He's got a ton of SCVs right here. He's got a planetary, he's got some bunkers here, and it's pretty much his only reliable source of income. The main is mined out, natural is getting close to mine out, 3rd base is getting close to mine out. This base though is pretty much fully to be mined. Like, this is the most juicy target, but there's a planetary. So I may end up especially with my Bailing's Trail in here, not being able to join the fight, I may end up suiciding an army into here, so I can actually take this base down, but at the cost of my entire army. So I don't know if that's worth it. And what I could do is actually go into his production line. Now, what would prevent me from going into his production line in a normal game? Normally, when the Terran is moving through the map, you can see that he's moving with an army here, and the strength of the Terran is that due to his easy macro in the late game, he's just able to spam the barracks hotkey and spam marines and build another army right at his gates. So as soon as you take down the army that's at your side of the map, he already has another army ready to push out with it. That's the strength of Terran. And this army right here, when you kill the army that's out of the map, is usually what prevents you from going straight into his production. It's usually what keeps Terran, what keeps Zerg on the back foot, you know. But as I have engaged an army here, and then I have pushed and engaged this army right here, this is the army. This army that I'm killing right here is the army that's supposed to be here, waiting for the previous army, which was this one that it took down here, waiting for that army to get killed and then rallying across the map. But as he's forced by my aggression to just go out of the base and defend his base, like protect his own mineral and protect his permanence of this game, actually the army that was supposed to be here and ready to get into the action on my side of the map is forced to stay back and defend. And I actually know that if I'm engaging this far inside his space, he's likely not going to have another army here ready, because this army that's here ready is the one that's fighting for his life right now. It should be an army right here, with me like wandering around this part of the map and, you know, killing his army right here and whatever. But it's not an ideal situation for him. This army is forced to fight for their lives here. So there's not going to be any army here for me anymore. So what do I decide to do? Clean up most of the army, and as soon as I start going to this little choke here, I just say, fuck it, let's just take down this supply depot. I'm not going to risk my army into this planetary. I'm not going to risk getting inside this choke and just taking down a target that's not that important anymore. I'm just going to go straight up for the Yukolar here. I'm just going to get straight up for a kill. I'm going to get inside and get up the ramp. It's not going to be able to close in time, and just get on top of this production. And once I'm here, with no army defending here, here's actually a little bit more here. Once I'm here, this is pretty much GG here. And Ruffle just spam mute as an A move. Pathetic. And he leaves the game. So yeah, then again, when you're here, this is quite a tough decision that you're gonna take. So you have to meditate the pros and cons as we did in this analysis right here. I hope this kind of worked for you. Just a little bit of an insight into my thought process in certain parts of the game. Definitely the most important one is this here, the 3 decisions, 3 possible targets to choose from, and I actually choose the one that's gonna allow me to win the game easier. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty much it. Just one little tiny thing to note. Going back to the other game, actually, if you ever want, and this I learned from the pick stream as well. We're gonna talk about that in a second, actually. This is something I learned from pick stream. If you want to see how good you were doing in the macro department of the other game, what pick suggests is that you go to the 8-minute mark, exactly the 8-minute mark, and check your drone count here. So your drone count at the 8-minute mark for your macro to be good in the early game has to be ideally 50, but it can be like from 45 to 50. It's actually decent, but of course ideally 50 drones, right? So 50 drones is the magic number here. Anything less than 50 drones is not ideal, and anything less than 45 drones is actually bad. So let's see. My count here, my drone count was actually 46. That is a 6, right? Or that's an 8, I can't see. So this is acceptable, but as you can see in the production tab, there's pretty much 9 drones here, so 1 minute, 1 second, 52 drones. So this can be considered a pretty decent macro early game. So this is when you know, like if you are checking a replay as a circuit player and you don't really know why you lost, first thing you gotta check, go to the 8-minute mark or 8 minute and 1 second. I just went to the 8 minute and 1 second because I had 9 drones on the production tab ready to complete, right? So it was a bit stupid to just think that my macro was not good just for 1 in-game second, like, as you can see here. Right, there we go. At 8 minutes exactly, my drone count is at 46 or 48. So you may think that's nearly close to ideal, but not ideal. But look at this drone, 9 drones on the production tab, pretty much completed. Boom, there you go. Still at 8 minutes, and we're 50 drones, right? So, oops, fuck. It's not even past the 8-minute mark, and I already have 50 drones, so it's not that notable. So there you go. When you don't know why you lost, just go to the 8-minute mark, and check, was my drone count around the 50 drones? If it's not, then there you go. That's what you did wrong. You needed more. If it's around 50 drones and you still don't know what you did wrong and why did you lose the game, then it's time to analyze the replay closer. But the first thing you want to analyze, 50 drones at the 8-minute mark. If you do not meet that requirement, then the problem is most likely your macro early game. Oh, and a little deviation from here. If you're playing against a force fast expand Protoss and you go 3 base before any gases, 3 hats gasless style, then the supply mark is actually 60 drones at the 8-minute mark. So force fast expand, 3 hats before pull or 3 hats before gas, 60 drones. Every other situation, 50 drones at the 8-minute mark. So I hope that was useful. Again, you can find actually on Pickstream, Exile Pick, you may know him, he's an Australian GM Zerg player. He's GM on pretty much every server. He doesn't play EU, but he's GM on Korea, so you can instantly assume that he's going to get GM on EU as well. And he oftentimes does this replay analysis sessions where he just picks random replays from people and analyzes them, and that's actually really useful. That kind of bumped my game a lot. And he actually keeps these little tips, like the 8-minute mark, 50 drone mark, that are actually quite helpful. So yeah, there you go. I hope that you've liked this analysis. It's a bit of a long one, but it was worth it. I had a lot of fun recording this and a lot of fun playing this, especially against such a tough opponent. It was a master player. So you can take down your own conclusions from this, and you can take down notes if you want. I'll see you guys next video. Again, this is Soundwave playing for Team Second Win. And yeah, see you next time.